Trump jumped out to an early lead in Wisconsin, but that lead appears to be narrowing. So for the latest of what's happening in the Badger State, let's go to Brad Smith. Brad?
Thanks so much, Baker. Yes. Okay, back to the maps, taking a look at Wisconsin, the Badger battle here, and it is certainly heating up right now. You've got 46% of the reporting that's come in so far. This was a state that Trump won by just over 22,000 votes. That is a win margin of less than 1%, 0.8%. And so we're currently seeing him hold Wisconsin by roughly 4%. So I want to bring back in Bradley Honan to get a look at what he's seeing, particularly in some of these areas. And I believe Green Bay is one that might catch some of our viewers' attention, Bradley.
Brad, what we saw in 2000 was a Gore victory. We saw 4 years later a Kerry victory. 4 years later, Obama, and as you rightly noted, an aberration 4 years later with a Trump margin of 22,000. I'm looking at Brown County. Brown County, to me, is very interesting. It's where Green Bay is. It's where the Green Bay Packers play. Here's what happened in the most recent election in 2018. GOP Governor Scott Walker won the county, and at the same time, Tammy Baldwin, running for the U.S. Senate, also won the county. So if we're looking for a microcosm, Brad, of how Wisconsin thinks about politics, how they vote, and where their partisan allegiances are, this county is as closely split as you see in politics.
Okay, a very important state that we're going to be watching in Wisconsin. Of course, you mentioned the county of Brown County. Brown County is where Donald Trump currently holds a roughly 30% lead over former Vice President Joe Biden. So we're going to be watching that county, which houses Green Bay, as you mentioned. Of course, if you go a little bit further south, you'll see Madison, and then additionally kind of stretching things out to a broader view here of the state in itself. Just before we pivot and move into Arizona, you'll see some of the other areas that we're going to be keeping a close eye on, notably Milwaukee. Of course, the Milwaukee Bucks, they offered their stadium as a polling place in this election, as we saw many states have their sports team, their pro sports teams, trying to chip in and do what they could to make voting more accessible. And accessibility was really the name of this election season, if there is anything that we perhaps hope carries into future elections as well. It is that accessibility and that opportunity for voters to exercise their rights as Americans as well. Okay, and then additionally, we want to swing things over to Arizona and taking a look particularly at the broader map here of the United States, and then getting into Arizona. Let's dive into the sunshine. Well, we gave Florida the sunshine scuffle, so I guess for Arizona, we'll go to the Cactus Clash. Can we call it that, Bradley? Perhaps we'll go with the Cactus Clash. Diving into Arizona, and I'll get your opinion on that in just a hot second. We've got a few key counties, perhaps none more important than Maricopa County, where Phoenix is. What are your thoughts on Arizona, Bradley?
Brad, except for Bill Clinton in 1996, Arizona has voted Republican back to 1952, Dwight D. Eisenhower. There's not a strong tradition of voting for Democrats. But that's changing, and you point out a county that is ground zero in this evolution. The population explosion, and Arizona is growing faster than just about any state in the nation, is driven by younger Hispanic voters. One of the things that Biden is trying to do tonight, and specifically in Arizona, is bring out non-habitual voters, younger Hispanic voters. This county accounts for 62% of the vote across the entire state. It's the surrounding collar counties around the city of Phoenix. Trump won this by 3 points. Romney won it by 11 points. And just last year, Kristen Sinema was elected to the United States Senate with a 4-point margin in this county. So this is going to be ground zero for whether Biden gets an insurance policy, potentially, for what we're seeing trend against him right now in the upper Midwest states.
We're taking a look at Maricopa County, of course, housing Phoenix, as we mentioned a hot second ago. I just want to zoom out and then zoom back into Arizona while we've got our folks' attention on this. Taking a look at 3% of reporting in Arizona, that puts Joe Biden in the lead right now with roughly just under a 10% gap, a margin right now at this point in time. Particularly, here are the counties that we're going to keep a close eye on, as myself and Bradley Honan mentioned. Maricopa County, let's start things off there. 60% of the voter turnout in the previous election, that came from Maricopa. Also keep an eye on Pima County and Pinal County as well. Those particularly, they were split. Actually, Hillary Clinton winning Pima County in 2016 and Pinal County going to Trump in 2016. And those as well, you add those up in terms of the percentage of the total, along with Maricopa County, you've got 80% of the vote in Arizona in just those areas. And so we'll continue to keep a close eye on that, but that's a brief look at Arizona for the cactus clash, as we called it there. We've got to come up with something better. The sun devil, I don't know.
Sun struggle.
The sun struggle? Okay, all right. Well, we're going to keep workshopping it, rest assured.